paying more for medicine in the new year. The Wall Street Journal reporting this morning, pharmaceutical company Allergan is set to setting the tone for 2019 with a near 10% increase in prices on more than 1 dozen products. Allergan is among those more than 3 dozen other drug companies that are ringing in the new year with price increases. The average price increase among companies implementing a hike, 6.3%. This comes as the Trump administration is urging big pharmaceutical companies to keep drug prices low, even suggesting drug prices be advertised on television commercials. Matt, great story in the Journal as always. It's on the front page. It's right here.
Yeah.
Because that's how I read it. What's going on here? Is there an explanation for this?
Well, they raise prices every year pretty much. I think that the big thing that stood out to me in the article was generic prices are going up, and that's the kind of drugs a lot of people get, which are supposed to be a lot cheaper than the brand name drugs, and they're going up higher than the price of inflation. And I think the risk for the economy, if you're talking about the president, is even with all the progress we've made, even with the fact that wages were going up last year, you've got pocket spending, drug spending, house prices. There are little areas where there is some stress and where average people are feeling it. People who are living paycheck to paycheck can feel it. It's part of the reason probably that the president is so happy about gas prices being low. And
which he tweeted about yesterday.
He tweeted about over the weekend. Because it doesn't take that many of these kinds of things to start to crimp people's spending, even if they're feeling pretty good about things. And so this just adds to that.
But the interesting part is the why, Dagan, right?
Yeah, no, tell me why. Because, again, what's their excuse? Because they always have an excuse. Are they valid excuses?
Well, what they're saying, well, obviously R&D is always the #1 excuse for any drug company. It's going to cost us millions of dollars to develop these drugs. But the generics side, I think, was interesting. But with Allergan, I thought what was fascinating is this is the company and the CEO that led that. We're going to make a social contract with consumers. We're going to be good people, good executives, good companies. We're not going to raise, the prices on drugs across the board. And they're doing it anyway. And I think wage pressure could be part of the story. But I can tell you what, they're all saying it's R&D. And if you're going to have, even with less regulations in the drug industry that we have now under President Trump, which is a good thing, they're still ignoring the political pressure, I think, from the president. He'll be tweeting about this soon enough. And this is actually a bipartisan issue, is drug prices. We've seen that time and time again.
Well, on that note, the FDA, and I'll correct myself if I'm wrong, I think that they pushed through a record number of generic drug approvals last year, or they were on track for that. Yeah. So that was one way to try and lower overall drug prices. But I was looking at the Allergan numbers that the Journal uncovered that Allergan did confirm. It raised the price of 51 products, 27 by 9.5%, another 24 by almost 5%, and it uncovered more than half the drugs in its portfolio, including this extended release version of an Alzheimer's drug, Namenda.
So, and their list prices that they're raising the price by. So the argument that they try to make is that the consumer won't necessarily feel this, and that 9% is a big number because of all the rebates that you can get, but still someone has to pay for that. It just makes me think that the whole structure here is a little confusing, because where's the transparency in what the cost of a medication is if there's all different rebates and everything that's available? The insurance company doing something, it's confusing.
Dagan's still waiting for the cost of her MRI to be made public.
But that
you've said that many times.
But we've talked about that for literally as long as I've been a financial reporter, is the need for transparency in pricing of not just drugs but of services, so people can make decisions on their own, as we do with virtually everything else that we shop for in this world.
I think it's a great point, and I want to go back to one thing Cheryl said when you talk about the president and deregulation. We are heading right now, it's already underway, into what will be a very, very intense Democratic primary season. And even against the backdrop of the president's regulatory pullback, the Democrats are likely to be competing with each other for new regulatory measures, especially in areas like this that they think are going to resonate with voters. So the drug companies and any other company that's working with consumers has to proceed pretty carefully here right now. And by the way, the president has shown, despite his own regulatory pullback, has shown a willingness to wade into these issues himself on what he perceives to be the behalf of consumers, which adds to the uncertainty for these companies right now. So there's going to be a big debate about this kind of stuff going forward.
When he was campaigning during the 2016 election season, he said the government should negotiate drug prices for Medicare, which was the same policy position as Hillary Clinton. And technically, it's the way the law is written, it's illegal for the government to do that at this point, so it would take an act of Congress to do it. But if we're going to start talking about compromise, the drug companies ought to look out because, again, you never know what the president might try and do.
Especially as the primary pulls to the left.
And then we've got Elizabeth Warren. She's essentially running for the Democratic nomination. So there's going to be a lot of talk about Medicare for all. It's a great little phrase, but people ought to start digging into what these Medicare for all bills look like because they rip up the health insurance world as we know it.